Hey everyone, this is Grant, and today I am going to show you the 5 things I wish I knew before I started making music with Eurorack. Sorting by popular on ModularGrid. Sorting by popular. This is something that I do not really like to do, and I don't suggest people do. Hey, Gizmo. I would not have ended up with a bunch of my favorite modules if I would have just been sorting by popular. Some of the notable ones are Interstellar Radio by Schlappy Engineering, Anna by Mystic Circuits, Integra Funkitus by Noise Engineering. I just wouldn't have found them. They're not that popular. Not saying popular modules are bad, quite the contrary. I have quite a few very popular modules. Got beads, flats, ripples. Popular modules are popular for a reason, so there's nothing wrong with taking a look at them, but I would not use that as your main source of research. Get more power and a bigger case, you derp. Yeah, this dead horse again. Power and cases. Buy the biggest power supply that you can afford, period. Buy the biggest case you can afford, period. Because whatever you choose, you're probably going to be wrong. I've ran into this many times. I'm currently running into it now. I have row 35. I'm going to need a row 45. I'm looking at adding a third row to my wooden case or just getting a monster case. This is a very, very common story with people who've done Modular, Eurorack, whatever for a while. They'll buy something that is much, much too small for their end goal. You really don't know what the end goal is going to be till you get there, because this can take you into some weird places. Like I said, I definitely recommend getting the largest power supply and case that you can afford. This is definitely not just my advice. If you ask these kinds of questions on Reddit or ModWiggler, you'll get the same kind of answers. Get the biggest one you can afford. There you go. There's not a lot of difference between CV and gates. What if I told you that gates, CV modulation, and pitch CV are all the exact same thing? Yep, let's go over that again. Pitch CV, gates, and CV modulation are all essentially the same thing. It's all voltage. You can attenuate your gates to make pitches. You can use gates as modulation. It's all the same. Now, are gates ideal for pitch, and is pitch CV ideal for gates? Not in every situation, but I can tell you that I get a lot of really cool rhythms by multing out by a pitch sequence. They sound great. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it does work, though. The biggest thing I'm trying to get across with this tip is you should be plugging stuff into things you normally don't. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in the habit of making a subtractive synthesizer every time you patch up your module, which I don't think is what any of us want. At least not all the time. It's all the workflow, man. For the next tip, we'll extrapolate on the previous one. It's essentially, modular is just workflow and voltage. I see people on Reddit, on ModWiggler all the time who are describing the things they want to do. And a lot of the times, I wouldn't suggest a modular synth first. I'd suggest Serum or a fixed architecture synthesizer or reactor or something on a computer. Modular is a very, very specific workflow, and I really think that is what you're buying into. That and being able to use continuous voltage to modulate pretty much everything you want within your system. Audio rate modulation is a big one. In Modular, you have lots of function generators. These aren't things that are showing up in DAWs quite yet. a lot of the analog utilities you use to mess with that voltage and to compose your songs are going to be pretty specific to modular. But then again, if you want to sit there with Reactor VCV Rack, you could probably do the majority of things that me or anyone else on YouTube is doing in modular. So if you're looking at the prices of all these Eurorack modules and you're starting to question waking reality because of it, you might give Reactor VCV a try before you invest in the hardware. I did, most people do. I highly suggest it. Perform, record, then compose. So this last one definitely weighs heavier on opinion than it does objective fact. So please take my should statements with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, I feel like the best way to do modular is to get as much as you can out of a isolated system. Small, large, doesn't matter. Perform it the best you can to bring that all into a DAW and to chop it up, compose it, and make a song out of it that way. As of late, that has become the winning formula for me. So I would definitely suggest you guys give that a try. Modular is so powerful and so good at a certain group of things, and a computer is really, really good at a different set of things. And there's definitely a Venn diagram where they overlap, but I really like to keep them doing their jobs. My modular is going to make the sounds. It's going to give me as much variation as I can as I'm performing it. And then when I drop it into the computer, I'm going to sit, compose, and make an actual song. So that's what's worked for me, mostly this entire time. I've been leaning on it heavier lately, but I would suggest you all give it a try. So that's it. What did you guys think? Am I wrong about everything? Do you agree? Did you have an epiphany? All of the above? Either way, I hope it was helpful. I'm going to be starting live streams later this week for my Patreon members. There's going to be some patches from scratch and me rehearsing for some live shows. There'll be live chats, Q&As, all that fun stuff. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll have more video content coming soon. Thanks for watching.